Okay, welcome back everyone. This is the last page of Road Trip. Gonna get teary at the end. But this one has just a few flaps we're gonna cut. And we're gonna make like two office manila envelopes. So the first flap is an 8 1/4 by 7 7/8. That's our A flap. B is 7 7/8 by 4 1/2. C is 7 7/8 by 4. D is 8 1/4 by 7 7/8. And E is a pocket 8 7/8 by 4. All right, so let's put these all back in order and then we can score them. Okay, so A, we're gonna score this piece with the 8 1/4 inch side facing up, and that gets a 1/2 inch. B, this one is going to have a gusset. We just want to have a little bit extra space. So we need to score this starting with the 4 1/4 inch side facing up and score at 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. So I'm going to give it my 1/2 inch and then move it over a 1/4. Or you can line it up so that it's at 3 3/4 and 4 1/4. Either way, you get, you probably can't see that. It's a 1/4 inch right here. So when you fold these over, you'll have a little space there. I just want to make sure these are straight again. My paper felt like it moved a little. Okay, so C, we're gonna have this with the 4 inch side facing up, and I'm just scoring it a 1/2 inch. D is a bottom flap, gets a 1/2 inch with the 8 1/4 inch side facing the top. These look very close, I just wanna make sure. And E is a pocket, so we want to start with our side that's going to be open at the top. Okay, and then we can put tape on all this. Okay, so for these, like I said, we're making them look like manila envelope openings with the circle punches and then some string, and I put beads on the end. So I will show you that. That part is optional, but it does look pretty cool. so for our B, that's the one with the gusset. You just put the tape on the very bottom, below that first score line. Okay, and I'll press this all down. And we can cut our pocket. Might as well. All right, so let's bring out our page 8. And to make sure we got page 7, got our angle over here on the right side, I'm gonna turn this like I'm turning the book. Got my 8 up here to show me that I'm in the right direction. And flap A goes on the right. So let me find that. Okay, so. So this is gonna go on this side. Right here, I'm gonna make this face me. I am gonna corner around this. I might as well do that ahead of time just in case I slip or something. Okay. So I'm lining it up left and right. There's just a little bit of a space between the top and the bottom. And I'm gonna make it flush on the right hand side here. No. It's a little bit, needs to go down a little bit in my case. There's a shadow, so I'm gonna angle this so I can see better. Did it again. There's something going on there. Hold on. So our flap B, that's the one with the 1/4 inch gusset. Let me find that over here. That's gonna go on the left side. And so basically I'm gonna fold these both lines. Folded the furthest one away first and then the other one. And that gives me that 1/4 inch. So I'm going to take off this tape. This is going to go, I'm going to give this a corner rounding. Okay, so I am lining it, the left hand side to line up with my A flap. And when I put down this side with the tape, this flat gusset side, so I'm going to guide that along with my thumbs. That's going to be at the edge. So it'll be straight up from the edge of this page. Basically, your second line is going to be at the edge of this page 8. Okay? So this line that's furthest away from you is going to be towards the inside, and that's right at the edge of this paper. Okay, so like that. Now the inside has the same thing, but this time we're going to be in up and down. This is a sideways pocket and this will be up and down. So let's take C, nope, D, I'll do D first, and put that at the bottom. And I'm going to corner around these two. So at the bottom here, I want to make sure that my left and right side of this paper doesn't go over those score lines, because I want those flaps to be able to fold over this. So line it up. And then just going to make sure that this closes and this closes. Okay, and then the C, let's see, what is this? This is our C, is going to go at the top, but I turn my page around so it's facing me. So again, make sure that goes between those two score lines on the left and the right. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get back facing the direction, our starting point, and we can put our pocket on the inside. So I'll fold all these over. And take this bottom piece of tape off. There we go. All right, and then this goes right here at the base of the D flap. So we've got our, I'm gonna make it go above that score line just a little bit. It's within the score lines to the left and right, and it's just above this bottom flap here, because that also has to fold over. Okay, that folds over nice. And then I can take off my sides. And we can start placing our magnets. I'm going to get a new pack. That last one's giving me trouble. Alright, so let's start with the bottom ones. Whoops. Now, these are going to have closures. Like I said, they're going to have, I'm going to put like a circle punch here and here with the string that ties around. So you can leave it at that if you want. But I also like to put a magnet there too. It just holds it nice. And I may not want to keep putting those strings around the circles. It's really there for decoration. So I am going to put some magnets down. So for this bottom flap here, we're going to just put one in the middle, and the top one we'll put two in the corners. in frame. It's right down there in the middle of the page. And I'll tape this down. This comes up here and press that down. All right, so for this top flap, this is our C. I'm gonna put 2 up here and that go down. And that'll also make it easier for me to lift up because it makes like a little bubble right here and I can just lift it up. Okay, where did my tape go? There it is. It's got my minus negative magnets here. I love the sound of that when they cling together. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing over here, but let's just make sure. We don't want our magnet to go in the middle of, so let me make sure, where did I put it? All right, so I'm gonna put a magnet in the middle, but I gotta make sure it lands probably on the bigger flap. It'll just be easier. I just definitely don't want it right in the middle where these 2 flaps touch, so I'll follow it down, put my finger here, and I'm gonna make a little pencil mark, and that's where I can put it. Yeah, you never want them hanging on and off 2 flaps. Would not work. Okay, so it lines up right there. I just want to tape this where it's not really touching that other piece of tape. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to put 2. I hope you enjoyed making this. And learn some new little tricks or decoration ideas. Okay, so now there's that. Let's tape this down. And the reason why I put a gusset on this top flap is it's going over multiple flaps. We've got our bottom two. We're going to have stuff in the pocket there. So it needed that extra room. Okay, so this is going to be a sideways pocket. So before you decorate, you can make the punches. So I'm going to show you first. Let me get that out. What I did for this. So this is a Fisker's circle punch. I believe it's 1 inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch. You can either, 1 inch is fine if you have, don't go out and buy 1 inch if you have like 1.5 inches or something, because you can use whatever size you want. Some people have 3/4 of an inch, and that would work fine too. So I will show you how I decorated it, this page, and then I'll show you how to make this punch. So I want you to get a visual first, which you might have if you watched the walkthrough, and then we'll make these together. So these are your sideways pockets, and this is the punch we're going to make, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. But I chose the paper that has the fire hydrant on it. I love that piece of paper, so I wanted it to really show. So I put it right here, right up front, and this is the other side of this. These two come from, I think, the back side of one of the papers, or it's in the patterns pack. I'm not sure, but I used that gears. And then here we have 2 more punches we'll make. And this, I believe, came on that fire hydrant page also. These 2 came in the patterns pack, I believe. Yeah. So let's show you. Oh, here's what I did for the pull out. Okay, so for these 2 right here, basically I took a piece of scrap. I could always have lots of scrap, and for each circle I punched out three on the black cardstock and 1 of whichever design paper you're using. So got our 3 circles there, and I'll pick a piece of design paper just to show you. Yeah, even the smallest scraps you can use for things. Okay, let me get out. I have a little mat here. So I've got my glue tape gun. You can either use glitter glue or this tape gun. And basically I just put a bunch of tape on the sides, covered this whole thing. For parts that I couldn't quite cover, I have this little like glue dot one, and I just put a little more on the sides, and then tuck in whatever's sticking out. So you do that for all 3 pieces. And then for your design paper, you do that. and I chalked this, so just give that a, I don't like to have the white edges showing, so you can chalk that. There we go. And this is like chipboard now. It's real thick. I have a pokey tool here. Different companies make them. This is Tim Holtz. And I just eyeball the middle of it. Okay. And let's see, I have these brads here, and it might be from Tim Holtz. I'm pretty sure it is. They make several things that have like, these look like little screws, because they have pluses and minuses as if they were screws. So if you could find something like that, if not, just something round would work too. I have this plain, you know, copper looking color. That would work too. And you just put that right here. Let me get that. Voila. And there we go. Here's our book. I put that on this flap after I put, so you don't fold this over yet. Here we go. You have your brad sticking out. You put your design paper on first, then poke a hole right there where you want it and put it through, and then you cover it, what's sticking out. Put a piece of tape over it so this doesn't poke through your paper, and then put your design paper on. So what we just did, you'll need to make 4 of these. And then if you want, as an extra touch, you can take some string, tie a knot in the end, like right up here first, and then put some beads there, and then tie a knot at the end. And then they'll be used, you just lay them there. You don't have to put them don't wrap them around too much, or you have to keep undoing it. I just wrapped it around once. They're just here for decoration. And that was it. So let's do, since we're here, we'll make these pockets, and then you will be done. And so these pockets are, let me just tell you, 9.5 by 5. Okay, so let's move this aside for a minute. Okay, so make 2 pockets, 9.5 by 5. And we'll score them with the 9.5 inch side facing up. So for all my subscribers, what I do at the end of a project, we made this all with the collateral rust, and now since I made it along with you, I have this extra album with the same layout. So I'm gonna make it with, I'll put some different papers on here that'll just give you a different idea. I may rearrange the pages, and it'll give you an idea. You can make another book out of this. It could look entirely different. I've done that before, so I will post that fairly soon. And maybe something more feminine than this, just something different. And you will have an extra bonus project. Since you already made this, you could make that, or you can make that instead of this if you don't have a reason to use the road trip paper, the rusty paper. So if you like my style, what I do, please subscribe, tell your friends, and the more subscribers I have, the more I can do. And I will be posting more projects in the next few weeks. I try to at least get one a month out there, but you'll be notified if you subscribe. You get an email. Okay, these are our pockets. And I will show you the front and back and then the cover too. It's in the walkthrough, but since we're here, so we've got those pockets. So this one is the 9.5 by 5, and by the time you fold it and put it on here, goes in the front. I made 2 booklets. This is leftover paper. This is leftover of that fire hydrant that I love. There's the inside. So that, you could have a whole nice layout in here. For the back cover, I use the same, this one with the gears. Not gears, they're like gauges, pressure gauges or something. And there's that. The back cover, you could also put a piece here if you wanted. The back cover is the gas station. The side cover is Route 66 that was on this paper. And here's our license plate. I just took the license plate, cut it out, and put a piece of chipboard in the middle and a magnet underneath. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and come back soon. I hope we'll be doing more projects together.